Hello everyone and welcome back to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today I'm going to do one final list for you. This list is going to be called our Forever Games. So what Mike and I and hopefully some of our other YouTubers like Bernd and Steve and Peter and Jason will be going through our total collection of games, looking from 2019 and earlier and picking games that we are never going to get rid of in our collection. I've come up with 15 games. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly. I actually have them in release order by year and then by alphabetical order. So these are not in order of my favorites. These are just games that are never ever going to leave my collection, and they're all from 2019 or earlier. You will hopefully see Mike's list of this a week from now, and you can see Mike's short list of games. I'm telling you now, his is probably shorter than mine. So without further ado, let's jump in. Our first year we're going to look at is 2011. I have two 2011 games. The 2011 game that you can probably guess if you know anything about me is Lord of the Rings, the card game. This game has always been and always will be my absolute favorite card game of all time. It is a deck construction game, and you play as different characters from Lord of the Rings. You generate resources, play cards. It is one of the LCGs. I have collected everything for the game. Why would I ever get rid of this game? I love it so much. There's even fan content. What I'm showing you right here is actually a fan-made scenario. So the game is still alive, even though it's technically done with Fantasy Flight. Now, I know a lot of people have a hard time with storage for this game, and I have a solution for you. This is the solution that I use in order to store all of my Lord of the Rings cards. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in looking at this. It's not the cheapest thing, I will say, but it fits sleeved cards. I have one for every single one of the different cycles, and I have all of my cards for the scenarios set into these boxes, and this is exactly what it looks like, and it looks amazing. It fits really well on your Calyx. You can get 2 sets of these on a Calyx, not 3. So you can get about 6 boxes on a Calyx. I really recommend looking at this if you're trying to figure out how you're going to store your cards for Lord of the Rings. But yeah, that is one of the games that will never leave my collection, Lord of the Rings, the card game. The other 2011 game on my list is Mage Knight. If anybody knows anything about me, they know that I love Mage Knight. Hand management, adventure on a board. Look at how this looks. I've even gotten this 3D terrain in between myself and Bill Holmes. All of it is now painted. I'm actually going to do another playthrough of this very shortly to show you all the painted stuff. It is wonderful. The game, you are controlling a mage that's out on this land and you're exploring. As you can see, I'm putting out new tiles. You're defeating enemies. And then you have this wonderful succession of starting as just nothing and ending where you're taking on cities. It's wonderful. There aren't many other games that provide you with wonderful hand management, wonderful puzzle, and also a great adventure feel. That's Mage Knight. So from 2011, let's move to our 2012 game. Our 2012 game we have here is Robinson Crusoe Adventures on the Cursed Island. Now, this game has been reprinted. I don't know how many times. This is not the 2012 version, but it did come out in 2012, so I'm going to say that that works. The game is what I'd call a worker placement cooperative game. How often do you see that? Not very often. Yet, you can see down here, there's dice. And so if ever you do anything on the board, but you don't want to, you want to be able to split your actions so you can do more each time that you're on the island, you can send workers to different locations, but then you have to roll those dice to see if you succeed. I love that. I love that the adventures are a challenge. Every time that I play this, I wonder why I'm not always playing this game. It has all my favorite things. You are exploring on a map. You are generating resources that you're going to use so you can eat at night. You are working together. You do things simultaneously. I love it. I absolutely love this game. It's never leaving my collection. That's Robinson Crusoe. From here, we're going to move to a 2014 game. I'm going to bring you way back to a game I recorded right at the beginning of the channel. The channel started. That's my wife's hand you can see there. This is Orleans. Now, technically, Orleans Invasion was the expansion that made the game cooperative, and it only has one scenario that's cooperative. I will say that that's limited. If you play that scenario a dozen times, you've played it a dozen times. But the thing is we have it, we keep it, we play it all the time with new people. I don't know why, but it's just one that I will never get rid of. It's because it's a cooperative Euro. And how often do you have a cooperative Euro? Almost never. And it looks so great on the board. I love all the bits. So you get that bits feeling of a Euro game, but you're also working together, accomplishing the goals that you need to do in a certain amount of rounds. I absolutely love it. I'm never getting rid of this game. That is Orleans Invasion. And that's our only 2014. From here, we're going to move to 4 games for 2015. This is also a really old video for me. This is Burgle Brothers. Once again, I think this is maybe the first 6 or 7 videos I ever did on our channel. Burgle Brothers, how many games have awesome stealth where you're peeking into different locations, you can jump between different levels? Oh, I love this game. Now, there is a new one that just came out, the casino one. I have yet to play that, and maybe that will replace this, but I highly doubt it. This one, you're trying to break into a bank. I work for a bank, so it's totally, you know, I just connect with it really well. But yeah, Burgle Brothers, Tim Fowers does a wonderful job making this feel thematic, fun, exciting, and I love that stealth is used. Stealth is not used in a ton of board games because it's hard to do, and they do it really well here. That's our first 2015 game. Our second 2015 game is Fireteam Zero. This game is another hand management game. Your hand is your health, but it's also what you're going to use to be able to attack enemies and try and complete objectives. I have painted this whole game. It's actually, I think, my second game I ever painted in total. There's another game on here that's my first one, so I won't say what my first one was. But I've painted the whole game. It looks wonderful on the table. It's easy to teach. I can get this game out on the table in 5 minutes, ready to play. It's got different scenarios. It's got expansions. I own it all, but there's nothing more for the game. And what's nice about that is I can collect everything and then just enjoy this game. You can almost think of this as a Gears of War 2.0. I know Gears of War might connect with more people from a thematic standpoint because you know what Gears of War is, but this game, it has a unique theme as well, which is World War II, but then you've got these crazy monsters. So definitely recommend this one. It's one that I'm never going to get rid of. That is Fireteam Zero. My next game on the list is Fuse. This game, so quick to play. It's a real-time game where you're working together to defuse bombs. I'm playing here with my wife. This is another really fun old video. I think this is the second or third video on the channel itself. You're trying to defuse bombs, working together to place dice onto cards. You're trying to do it as quickly as possible, and yeah, it's so easy to teach. Everyone loves to play this game that I've played it with. It doesn't take long, and yeah, it's one that I will never get rid of. That's Fuse from 2015. Another game that will never leave my collection is Runebound with the Unbreakable Bonds expansion. This game, you have POG combat, you have adventuring on an open map, you've got different adventures that you can do that have all turned into cooperative adventures using the Unbreakable Bonds expansion. That is why I love this game so much. You go from zero to hero. You have lots of ways that you can level up. You can do social interactions. You can see that here. These are combat interactions that you can do. You're traveling across the board. It feels very much like an open adventure game, and I absolutely love that. The POG combat feels very unique. It's something that I haven't had in any other game, and I actually really like it. I know some people don't. They'd prefer dice, but I actually really like how that works. And all the enemies, you have the 4 different types of enemies that can use these different sheets that you'll use. You'll go back and forth. I will say the game is really for 1 to 2 players. I wouldn't play more than 2, maybe 3, but between solo and 2 player, this is one that I will never get rid of. That is Runebound with the Unbreakable Bonds expansion. Our final 2015 game is XCom, the board game. Another real-time game. You guys know how much I love real-time. I have never had a real-time game where each player has their own specific thing they need to do. Now, I'm playing this solo here. I don't really recommend that. It's fun solo for sure, but it can be quite overwhelming. But as a cooperative experience, oh my gosh, it is so great. Everyone has their specific roles. You've got a real-time phase and a non-real-time phase. You're going through this app trying to complete the things that you need to do, place out the aliens on the board, and then during the non-real-time phase, you're resolving it, or you're trying to research different science abilities you can see up here. But in the real-time phase, you've got to decide certain things, and you only have a certain amount of time to do it. Oh, it's so great. This one, I am never going to get rid of. I don't even know the theme at all, but it does the theme well enough that I don't need to know it to still enjoy it and appreciate it. So that's XCom, the board game. Never getting rid of that one. So from here, we'll move to 2016. I have 2 2016 games that I'm never going to get rid of. Mechs vs. Minions is a 2016 game. This one my wife and I absolutely love, and I cannot wait to play this with my sons. I have 3 sons. My oldest is 7. I think he's getting close to being able to play this, but maybe not yet. It's a programming cooperative game. Yeah, do you know many of those? I don't either. And so that's what's so cool. But on top of that, look at the production quality. This is not a Kickstarter game. This came out as a $75 game, and look at what it looks like. It's amazing. Pre-painted miniatures, washes on the minions, and the cards were great stock, but you're also, the game is good because you're programming stuff onto your programming board, but then when you take damage, potentially that can mess up what's on your board, and your mech starts going crazy. Oh, it's so cool. There's 8 different scenarios in the game. Yeah, this is one that I will never get rid of. I'm going to keep forever, and I cannot wait to play with all of my kids as they grow up. Here we have Project Elite, our other 2016 game. Now, I'm kind of cheating here because I've actually given this copy to Bernd because I have the newer version, but I will never get rid of Project Elite. You are trying to take out aliens in real time. You have 2 minutes, but every time you roll an alien phase, the aliens move forward, and then there's an alien phase where outside of real time, they also can attack you and move forward. It feels like a regular shooter game. You're trying to get into range of the enemies, and you're just about to shoot them, and just at the time that you do that, someone else accidentally moves the enemies. Oh, it's so fun. This game works great because it's real time, so you can play up to 4 players. I think with the new version, you can play with up to 6. That's just insane. But yeah, I love it because it's real time. It's easy to play. I have now painted all of the miniatures. Here's what the newer version looks like. And yeah, it is so much fun. I love it. My wife loves it. I will never get rid of this one. My sons even love this one. And we kind of play in real time and kind of not. But yeah, that's Project Elite, our final 2016 game. We have 2 2017 games. This one should come as no surprise. This is Gloomhaven from 2017. I love this game. Hand management. You have an RPG. You get to have your characters retire, open up new ones. I love this game. I've been playing this with a group of 4 people. I think we're on our 60th play of it, and we won't stop. We've taken a little break, but we're going to go right back to the game. Can't wait for Frosthaven. I love it. It's one of the best dungeon crawlers that you have out there. There could be a little bit more story. I'm hoping Frosthaven does that a little bit better, but overall, the game is so much fun, so tactical, so enjoyable. That is Gloomhaven, a great 2017 game. You know what else came out in 2017? Spirit Island. What a year! Spirit Island, another wonderful game. I love it solo. I love it cooperative. Another hand management game. Each spirit feels so incredibly unique. It's kind of what the best part of Gloomhaven was. Each of the characters were so unique. I cannot get enough of this game. I actually almost sold it at one point when I first got it because I inundated my wife too much on this game, but once she came back to it, it's one that she never wants to get rid of. I love it. Will never say no to play this one. That is Spirit Island. From here, we can move to our 2 and final games from 2019. Here we have it, my friends, one of my absolute favorites from 2019, Cthulhu Death May Die. I don't even love the theme, but the game is so much fun. You put together an episode and an elder one, you throw them together, and you make a wonderful experience every time you play. Yeah, sure, some of the times you get blown out of the water, and other times it might be a little bit easier, but the game itself is so fun. You're always going up against a big bad right at the end. I absolutely love that. Every time I've played this game, it comes down to the wire, and that's something that I really appreciate in a game. And it all does it compact in one experience. Not to mention, each character has different ways that they can level up, and now I have the whole game painted between myself and Bill, and I love it on the table. Cthulhu Death May Die, one that I am never going to get rid of. All right, we have one more to talk about. Last but not least, we have Journeys in Middle-earth. Yeah, I started and ended with Lord of the Rings, and that seems pretty fitting for how much I love the theme. So Journeys in Middle-earth, it is an app-based game, but it's an app-based adventure game. I absolutely love it. This is my first game that I fully painted myself, and it's still fully painted even with the expansions, and it is one I will never get rid of so long as the app works. And even if the app doesn't work, I'll keep them and use them for something else. My hope is that they will never have the app not work, but you never know. Absolutely love the game. Excited for that final expansion that's coming out soon. It's going to add the Gondorians. There'll be Boromir, and I think, oh, what's his name? Yeah, Bjorn. Bjorn will also be a playable hero. So excited for the game. I love it because you are using a skill deck instead of dice, and you can prepare skills that will come out on your board right here, and you can use their abilities. You also have specific hero abilities, and you can play either on a journey map or battle mats. Yeah, lots of fun. That is my final one, Journeys in Middle-earth. So there you have it. That's 15 games that are never going to leave my collection. Our plan is each year we're going to do this and revise this to add in the new year. So for 2022, we'll add in 2020 games and so on and so forth. And that way we can see as we progress what games that we never are going to have leave our collection. I'm curious, what about you? What are games that you have that you feel like are never going to leave your collection? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you at the next stop.